Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the video. So here today we're going to cover something that you may already be familiar with, but I still get questions about it quite a bit in the comment sections across all my videos. Also the new customers that get PS3 units from us or we've downgraded their system also ask about this. This is basically how to stay safer online, especially focusing on the signing in process, meaning when you load your game, signing in, launching your game, that whole beginning process where you go online. So that's what we're covering here. We're going to cover the webman mod method and the PSN patch method in order to clear your history and disable your CFW syscalls files. You can use one or the other, but don't use both to clear your history and disable CFW. PSN Patch is the one that a lot of developers recommend, and I recommend it as well, especially because the last two updates that were done this year made great strides in clearing out a lot of the CFW syscalls files. So it comes highly recommended. And we're going to go ahead and that's what I'm personally using, but we are going to cover both steps. First things first, before we get started, always make sure that your PSN sign-in, and this is a rule of thumb, is never set to automatic. All right, so your sign-in should always be, you can have your password set, the little box for it to be remembered, but your automatic sign-in should not be checkmarked ever. Also, your disk auto start feature should be shut off. So you can do that in your settings in case you don't know. You can go over to your settings, go into system settings, and then you're going to scroll down to where you see disk auto start. Make sure that's off. And so that's just a rule of thumb when you have CFW installed on your system. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So here is the checklist that I made. All right, you're going to, once you're done with whatever you have to do on the XMB, you're going to load your game. The second step, which is optional, is to unload your app that you're using. Like there's a way to unload Webman Mod, and there's also a way to unload Sman. We'll cover that in a second. You're going to clear your history, disable your CFW syscalls, and spoof your console ID if it's needed. And then you're going to sign into PSN via the XMB, and that part is important. And last step is to always launch the game from the disk icon. So let me go ahead and let's show you here. I'm going to use Sman, and we're going to go ahead and pick a title. Let's do Black Ops 2, just for the hell of it. So Black Ops 2 is there. If you're using Multiman or Irisman, and if there is a game disk icon that does not pop up, and your game is here in the app's home, right? Never launch it from there, because basically what you're doing is before you go online, you're basically just launching a game from a folder that's not supposed to exist on a legit PS3. So why would you launch it from that folder? Always launch it from the disk icon. If a disk icon does not pop up, put any PS3 game in there that works, and don't worry, it will still say whatever game you chose, that's the name that'll be displayed on the disk icon, and that's the game that will be launched. Whatever your disk is irrelevant, but just put it in there so you get the disk icon. Now at this point, you can go ahead, you have the option of unloading Webman Mod or Sman if you're using that. Webman Mod, if you go into the PS3 setup, you will see the there's a bunch of boxes way down at the bottom. One of them will say right here, one of them will say unload Webman, and then it will have a shortcut. If it's not checkmark it, save, and then restart the PS so you can reboot, and then you'll be able to use it. So you can do that if you want. Here in Sman, there's a way to unload it by hitting L2 and R2, and then you press triangle, and here at the bottom, there's the unload Sman option. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you are going to unload Webman Mod, just keep in mind that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it works, but with some adverse effects, with some side effects. So just keep that in mind if you're going to go down that route. So at this point, you can unload that if you want to, or if you're using Sman, you can unload it here. Now, once you've done that, we're going to go back to the XMB, and then if you're using Webman Mod, at this point, you will hold down R2 plus triangle for a few seconds, and you should hear your PS3 beep. It'll say history is being deleted or history files deleted, and your CFW files are being disabled. If you are using PSN Patch like I do, and a lot of developers use, we can go into PSN Patch, and when you do, your of course screen will look like this. I've blotted out my numbers, but you're basically going to, at this point, either press X or triangle. You're going to do X if you're spoofing your console ID, which of course you only do if your console ID has been banned. If your console ID has not been banned, then you can hit triangle. So X will spoof your ID and the IDPS. It will also wipe your history and disable CFW syscalls files. If you're using your original console ID, then all you need to do is press triangle. It will disable CFW syscalls files, and it will wipe your history. Either one you press will do like a soft reboot type deal, and your PS3 will beep. You'll be back at the XMB, and your disk icon should still be here. At that point, you're going to go ahead and scroll over, sign in, and then once you're signed in, you can go ahead and launch the game. And before you begin with all the steps, make sure that you do whatever it is you're going to do here with the apps. So if you're going to use like my Black Ops 2 loader, or if you're going to use some of the other homebrew apps, make sure you do that first before you start these steps here. And that's pretty much it, guys. So hopefully this will work for you in keeping you a little bit safer, but always remember, there's no way to ban-proof your PS3. And you can use all the common sense in the world. You can take all the right steps, and it still doesn't matter. Many times it comes down to just being pure lucky. And that's it. There's no rhyme or reason to getting banned. There's no pattern. What worked yesterday may not work today. What works today may not work tomorrow. What worked for somebody else may not work for you. It works for them for 6 months. It works for you for 6 days or a day or a week or whatever. So anyway, there's no rhyme or reason to it. All right, thanks a lot for watching the videos, guys. Don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. We'll see you next time.